a place of wonder. Through Eve Ops Epiphany, you capsuleers discovered 4 Jovian gates, quite fast, I might add. And since yesterday, these gates are now open, and you can visit Zarzak.
So originally I thought I was going to go to Jovian space, not GM space, Jovian space. There are 2 regions up north that are separate. I thought that was the case. But when I spotted the location of Zarzad, I thought, oh, that's going to go right to Pochvin. It's right next to Pochvin. Yeah.
It's a system with a very special environment and a unique rule set. The environment comes with dangers, as I think CCP Fuzzy showcased yesterday. So explore at your own risk. Inside Zarzak, the Deathless are building a shipcaster which allow pirate-aligned players to use and launch insurgencies.
All right, so number 1, before he gets to the station, have you seen the current shipcasters? Yeah. Nobody uses them. They're useless. They're just landmarks. So this system currently has a landmark and an effectively undockable station. Well, you need 10 standing with either Garistas or Angel Cartel. Could be that as soon as you align, that he gets in the mechanic right away. I'll let him talk about it. But I'm assuming once you align with the new militia, quote unquote, the pirate faction, you might possibly be given 10 standing to dock. I don't know. Just kind of like the like the militia stations. Anyways, I'll let him continue. It's interesting. Thank God it took me an hour to cut through all the crap, and the fanfest blather was fluff, and it was fun to listen to Aurora talk about the destroyers, and then during that little reveal of the Titan, but otherwise it was just fluff and pantomiming devs you can't read from teleprompters. Jesus. Anyways.
In the war zones. Pirates are establishing a new type of forward operating base in the war zones that they can use as their base. And it will act as the landing pad for this shipcaster. The Deathless have also established a base inside an ancient Jovian megastructure they call the Fulcrum. They have extended an invite to Guristas and Angels to join them. And they will soon ask for capsuleer help to bring it to life.
Okay, well, sure, they'll bring it to life doing something, I don't know, in the system, maybe a new little mining thing or something, who knows, little events inside that system. Who knows, or outside of it, who cares? The point is, once you're dockable, it's just going to be like the NPC stations in HiSec next to the shipcaster in the same system. Nobody's going to go there because everybody will just head to the front lines and deal with there, because I'm pretty sure that the corruption and suppression mechanic has nothing to do with the stupid shipcaster location. And these guys just think, oh, like I've said before, Hilmar's like, oh, it's millennials. They like to yeet. Let's make them a shipcaster because, they're... Yeah, notice nobody's clapping. It's very indicative that the FanFest reaction is critical in what we care about the game and what these people just are completely, mostly clueless about, and always have been.
Aligning with pirates, fulfilling the pirate fantasy. So, the Guristas and the Angels are recruiting. With the next expansion, you will be able to align with one of the two factions. The enlistment process will be the same as it is with Empire militias, and this means direct enlistment and also options for corporation and alliances. Pirates are, of course, at war with FW militias in their area of space, meaning there are specific rules of engagement with the players that are aligned with those factions. Pirate-aligned players can earn new loyalty points by raiding the war zones and through the insurgency feature. The new Guristas and Angel ships are unique to these LP stores. Pirate-aligned players will also get some special benefits and access to Zarzak that you will see in November. Corruption and suppression. In our pursuit of defining the future of war, we are building another foundational system in EVE Online. Corruption represents the amount of criminal activity that is happening within a star system, while suppression represents the scale of law enforcement operations in that system. As corruption and suppression increase in a system, they will trigger effects and they will alter the rules within those systems. Both can be active at the same time, and you will hear more about this in a minute. It's foundational work for us because we are looking at corruption and suppression as natural traits of star systems, even for those systems that are outside of ongoing insurgencies. Insurgencies will be the first source that generates corruption and the way that corruption is being removed from systems, while Vanguard will be the second source. For now, Vanguard will only affect active insurgency systems. Corruption and suppression's value resets at each system following the completion of a pirate insurgency. Some systems, though, we have heightened default values, and this means Pirate HQ systems, we have an increased default corruption value, meaning certain effects will always be active there. And the same goes for the Empire, HQ systems and suppression, which has different effects, always active at those systems. With that in mind, and before I leave the stage, I want to bring this for one final view. Just keep it in mind throughout the rest of the presentation, throughout FanFest.
Okay, wait, what?
Some systems, though, we have heightened default values, and this means Pirate HQ systems, we have.
So, is this Amar? Is this Zarzak? Where are the Pirate HQ systems where they have current stations? Is this Jita or is this? Does this mean there's going to be certain arbitrary zones that say they're HQ systems for? Is it going to change? Like currently we have frontline and then headquarters and then rear area. Does that mean that, or are they changing the rules about, there are exceptions, right? Are there going to be arbitrary places where he seems to claim that there's going to be always this heightened boost, right? So it's like, where are these? Which systems are they? I don't think he's going to tell us. I got the feeling they're like, I want to know the rules, and he's just hinting at it, It's really going to be annoying. There's watching this video, I don't think for the next 16 minutes that we're going to get any information out of this guy at all about how it works.
Have an increased default corruption value, meaning certain effects will always
and Singularity isn't up and running for us to check it out.
Be active there. And the same goes for the Empire, HQ systems, and suppression, which has different effects, always active at those systems. With that in mind, and before I leave the stage, I want to bring this for one final view. Just keep it in mind throughout the rest of the presentation, throughout FanFest, and for the days to come. Now, please welcome on stage CCP K1 P1.
Hello, FanFest. I'm CCP K1P1, and now that CCP Psych has laid out the foundations of the future of war, let's dive into what pirate insurgencies are that will come in the Havok expansion in November. So due to the effect of the ongoing factional war, there are systems in New Eden that are weakened, making them the perfect target for the pirates to raid from their Zarzak base. In these insurgencies, a set of systems is selected to loot, and as they loot, they expand outwards, setting their sights on more systems. The Empire militias can respond and attempt to put down this insurgency and force them to flee. While this is similar to FW mechanics, there are a few key differences. Pirate insurgencies represent discrete, asymmetric warfare inside the war zones. It has a beginning and an end, as well as a winner and a loser. The war zone for an insurgency is dynamically created based on player activity and can stretch beyond the bounds of traditional factional warfare space. But for now, they won't go into nullsec or any system with a status of 0.8 or above. While factional warfare is a tug of war, the insurgencies are a race. So how do the war zone and the insurgency interact with one another? This is the factional warfare map with the front lines, command operations, and rearguard systems. This is the same map with a potential pirate insurgency layer. The insurgency layer sits independently on top of the factional warfare systems and can easily extend into non-FW space, including HiSec. So let's go through the flow of how the insurgency works. Pirate leadership, or AI, will select a set of systems for the insurgency to begin. And there, they will place a pirate forward operating base.
Again, I've said it before recently. I really wish they would have picked another word for that. It's just going to be so difficult for people to figure out on Google what the hell a forward operating base is. It's like, could you Google forward operating base and look up the U.S. military's different designations for different? Have you seen a thesaurus lately? It's like, fuck. But oh well, Jesus.
The insurgency then spreads 3 jumps in all directions from the starting system. And the system will always be in one of 3 states. Insurgency HQ, where the pirate FOB is, active insurgency with no FOB, or no insurgency. So it's similar to incursions, but with players instead of NPCs. So how do the pirates and the Empire players impact from this point forward? I'm going to need your help. So I want to take this middle section right here, and you're going to be my pirate-aligned players. And I'm going to take this side, and you will be my Empire-aligned players. So I want you to keep in mind that everyone in the middle is fighting with everyone on the outside, but at the same time, you are also fighting with you. So because you were lucky enough to sit in the middle and got here early, you also get to use the shipcaster from Zarzak, which will shoot you straight into your pirate FOB, into your insurgency area. So don't forget that I said that the pirate insurgencies are not a tug-of-war like factional warfare, but they're a race. And once the insurgency has started, the race has begun.
I'm sorry. I know I apologize for my Instagram subliminal stuff, but it's not as bad as like, did she just sniff cocaine?
Begun. Pirate-aligned players, right here in the middle, will seek to plunder the systems in the insurgency zone and increase corruption in that system. And at the same time, the FW militias on the side will be acting as the law enforcement to push back against these pirate raids. And by increasing suppression in insurgency systems, these anti-pirates will attempt to put down the insurgency and force the pirates to flee. Fully corrupted systems, like the one in dark purple, will give the pirates points and the opportunity to spread the insurgency even further. And fully suppressed systems, like the one in green, will give the Empire militias points and the opportunity to stop the insurgency altogether.
Yeah, does
But
that
how does it work?
mean if it goes to high sec that it
Well, let's look at
lowers the
corruption
security
first, but I want to
status
make sure that
and
my
you can
empires on the
start
sides
shooting
don't fall
people?
asleep because it's the same mechanics. In order to spread corruption, the pirate-aligned players will need to complete specific activities to increase the level of corruption in that system.
So what if
And
it
the
gets to
corruption
level
level will determine the types of activities that are available. So for
What does
example,
it-
in this system that we're looking at, they haven't reached any stages
Okay,
of corruption.
what happens
so
when
there's
they
only
get to
one
number one?
activity available, the corporate outpost raid, which can be completed to progress corruption and receive rewards.
corporate outpost raid? Okay.
So once your pirate insurgents have reached stage 1 of corruption,
Okay.
they will trigger the system-wide effects
Okay.
at that
Which
level.
is
Now, I do want to make it very clear that none of these system-wide effects are final. And they are subject to internal testing and feedback.
we don't
and
give a
we'd love
shit.
your
We
feedback.
know that.
But I'm really glad then that
Come
this
on.
is not recorded.
Yeah. Very
So
funny.
for example, with that being said, our first
And we're
system-wide
really
effect could be
upset.
increased
Singularity is an open.
PvP loot drops for pirate-aligned players. With the player that kills the player that deals the killing blow.
Really?
And because you reached stage 1 of corruption, that also means that you've unlocked more activities. So now you have 2 activities to choose from in order to increase corruption
we
and,
know
and
the
increase the
corporate
different types of
raid,
rewards
yeah, blah,
that your
blah.
fellow
What's
pirates
this
can
one?
receive. This will continue with every level of corruption
What was that
that
activity?
you achieve in the system, and the system-wide effects will stack. So every new stage of corruption will unlock new effects, such as increased pirate gang spawns, Empire police will stop spawning. Stage 3 could include advantage.
Wait, what? What? Just give me 1 second. Let me get this straight. You were going to give griefers the ability to gank freighters in high sec without Concord spawning? Or does that mean customs? You know, when you're low enough standing with the... Or is it this new separate thing that isn't related to Concord or... Like, Concord is universal, like federal, and Empire Police seem to be, you know, the people who web you first and then try to scram you or point you. You can, like, get a free warp away. When you're traveling through, when you've got low faction standing, that has to be it. But what happens when it's level 5? I don't think they'll get rid of Concord. That's just a bit too silly. But for argument's sake, just in case they're absolutely bananas crazy and stupid.
Connecting.
How far away is I was gonna say Naraja, but how far away is Amazon? No, not Amazon, but Udema. All right. I It's not a good way to do this, is there? They're not like it's difficult to make sense of this too. Didn't we used to be able to see the jump gate? Oh, there we go. Okay, so gratis hack. Uh, like the closest, like you could spread it to Amar, right? But you can't get beyond 0.8 though, right? 0.6. You could spread it to, where is it? Odalin. You can go to Odalin, 0.8. Didn't she say it can't go into 0.8? So that's impossible to spread it there. You'd spread it, how far could you get? You could spread it to heck. Probably couldn't get away with spreading it any further. I'll bet you anything. Is that on the way to Rennes? I forget which direction Rennes is. So you'd have to go, you'd have to go into blue, which is impossible for the insurgency. But you could get it to hack. You could spread it to hack for sure. Okay, stuff like that. So it's extremely limited in its ability to spread to, if you're hoping to get it to Udama, it ain't gonna happen. It's probably way too many 0.1. High security, right? Or high security, should I say? Lol. Okay. And I guess it would just make asteroid. It would be great for asteroid ratting. Ratting would be awesome. I mean, in low sec, the rats, lol, give me a break. Yeah, it'd be great for you know, I don't know. I guess. Who cares? So owner advantage simply goes down. Don't know what that
Decrease for system owners. And stage 4 could possibly be warp speed multiplier for pirate insurgents. Now, once you reach level 4 of corruption, the insurgency will also spread one system in every direction from that level 4 system. And at level 5, pirates will have reached maximum corruption. But more on that in a bit. Because at the same time that everyone here in the middle is trying to increase corruption, everyone on the outsides is also trying to increase suppression. So the system effects that they can unlock through their hard work include increased pirate bounties, increased militia LP, reduced corruption gains in a system, and triggers the spawning of Edencom security forces. Stage 4 could add web scram range bonuses for Empire pilots.
See, like I said before, the cheering and clapping is when they're hitting sweet spots for people who give a shit about the mechanics. Nothing else matters. It's like, okay, this is fluff. And then when you hear the cheering, it's indication of, hey, it's, maybe you should guys concentrate on adding things that actually take advantage of that instead of just, we added something that they're clapping. We don't know why. It's like, Jesus. So web scram range for militia pilots. That's kind of cool. Yeah, so people would definitely attempt to suppress, for sure, because I don't see any advantage to the pirates at all. Like warp speed, there's no advantage. I mean, at level 1 loot drops, but does it, like, to me it's like we don't care about any of this. That's kind of a nice one, but all of this is fluff. It's like increased loot drops should grow. Like PvP loot drops should grow from, it's 50% chance now per item to 60%, 70%, 80%, 90%, 100%. Why are we talking about anything else? Why does anything else matter? The cheers would have happened if it grew. That's all we needed. You don't need to overly complicate stuff. We don't care. None of this matters. Empire Police are irrelevant to gameplay, except for those who aren't expecting it and get ganked by them. But otherwise, hello. Wow.
Reduced corruption gains in a system, and triggers the spawning of Edencom security forces.
Now I'm going to watch for either a look of surprise or she knew the applause was coming.
Stage 4 could add web scram range bonuses for Empire pilots. And once my anti-pirates on the sides here reach level 5 of suppression, that system is considered fully suppressed. And you'll receive significant system effects, like upgraded turrets deployed on stations and gates. And once you reach level 5 of suppression, that also means that the pirates can never reach level 5 of corruption in that system. And once you've fully suppressed a predetermined number of systems, let's say 5, then the pirate FOB becomes vulnerable with only a single reinforcement timer. And if my Empire militias on the side are able to successfully destroy that FOB, then they will claim victory, and all Capsuleers that participated in putting down the insurgency will get rewards and bonuses. On the other hand,
wait a minute. There's no incentive to blow up the pirate fob. I mean, if you all you have to do is raise the suppression high enough in order to get that cool bonus. And on the other flip side, does the pirate loot drop? Is that is where am I at? 0830. Okay. Because it doesn't say loot drops for pirates, right?
Are final, and they are subject to internal testing and feedback. They haven't reached any stages of corruption. So once your pirate insurgents have reached stage 1 of corruption, they will trigger the system-wide effects at that level. Now, I do want to...
She didn't explain the loot drops. She just did the everything could change, and it's like, what? So there is no incentive for anyone, especially if the loot drops increase in percentage beyond the default, loot god stuff currently. There's no incentive for people to effectively, why would you want to, like, it's just get the web scram range for pirates. That would be cool. So warp speed, web scramble range for the suppression. And also you'd want, and of course at level 4 you'd reduce the benefits of the loot drop percentage boost, but you'd still want it. So it would be in your best interest to let the pirates get to level 4, and you'd get system effect. Like, Jesus, yeah, I mean, you wouldn't mind having, if you could increase each stage, but let's pretend these people are morons and they never figure out how to please the player base, and they just go, oh, this is word salad. And this is always like, oh, like increase like what? By 10% maybe. Who knows? So 60% chance to drop, right? The loot. There's no incentive to keep it anything but level 1. And the people would be perfectly happy to do that. But it would be more like there's no incentive for the pirates to actually, like, to spread the corruption. What's the point? There's going to be, they'll do it for the LP stuff. But if it's not worth, if there's no increase to LP, they just run the LPs, and and it would naturally get there, I guess. I don't know. It's like, where are the incentives for the LP? That's what'll drive it, not for the bonuses. I think everybody would be happy with just the loot drops. Nothing else is important. Is warp speed? How much warp speed increase are we looking? Like, when I see that, I go, oh, they're going to give like plus 10%. Or maybe plus 20%. And if it's like high levels of suppression, maybe it'll go down to like 10%, right? Who freaking knows? But yeah. Yeah, and nobody will want to get rid of that. Why would you want to get rid of a pirate FOB? Like, seriously, there's just too much benefit. I mean, increased loot drops everywhere? Yes, please. And increased web and scram, and if you get rid of the fob, your bonuses go away. Yeah, sure, CCP.
Easily 1. And so if they reach maximum corruption, they will trigger a meaningful change in the whole nature of the system. And it'll depend on where the system is. So, for example, if you reach maximum corruption in a system that's high sec, it'll start to look a lot more like low sec. And if the system is in low sec...
No, it won't. No, it totally won't. It look more like low sec, as in there's going to be no police. There's no Empire police showing up. Yeah, sure, Concord will still show up. The gate guns are still there. What the hell are you talking about? Right? look more like, do you even know what Empire Police do, or don't do, or are politically useless at doing? Or are you so clueless that you think Concord and Empire Police are the same thing? That is the only thing I can think of this woman blathering on like this. This, what, are you actually saying you're stupid enough to think that we believe you that you're going to get rid of Concord and HiSec? No, no.
It'll start to look a lot more like nullsec. And if they're able to successfully corrupt 5 systems, then they will have won the insurgency, and the Pirate Line players who participated in that insurgency will receive rewards and bonuses. So not only do you need to keep track of the corruption per system, but you also need to keep track of the amount of systems that you have either fully suppressed or fully corrupted. Every fully suppressed or fully corrupted...
Okay, wait. We know what happens when there's 5 systems suppressed. It means that the fob is vulnerable now and you can blow it up. Great, and everything gets removed. Everything. But what happens when there's 5 insurgency systems captured? Did I miss that?
System will give your side a point. And here, you can see that the pirates have won the insurgency with their 5 fully corrupt systems. But the system is self-balancing. So the more insurgencies you win, the more points you'll have to get next time due to the ambition modifier. Following the completion of an insurgency, the system will return...
Wait, so if you suppress 5, you'll have to suppress more next time in order to make the fob vulnerable? What the hell are you talking about? Okay, well this is interesting. Okay, so rings for corruption, rings for suppression. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Why is that? What? Stage 3. Oh, the what? Oh, it's trying to, this is an error to, why did they do it that way? That's dumb. Anyway, so 1, 2, 3, and the arrow, oh, I guess because, what? That's not really helpful, but I wish it was more color coded, but whatever. Okay. so 1, 2, 3. Okay, the 1, 2, 3 circles and just 1 for, okay, so okay, all right, that's fair enough. So we're talking about, we're looking at Auga, pirate fob, Jesus. Pirate fob. I really hope. Wouldn't that be hilarious if the pirate fob was honestly the current pirate fobs in LowSec, the Garista pirate fobs? They'd have to code in Angel Cartel LowSec. Are there Angel Cartel LowSec pirate fobs? And I just am in an area of space that only gives Garistas? You mean the ones that spawn dreadnoughts and have massive tank? I mean, that would help go a long way to explaining, like, how, like, wow, okay, people are just gonna die like flies if they try to attack these. But yeah, cutting it down to 1, if you could If you could make it vulnerable so you could kill it in one go, that would be kind of cool. Yeah, because currently, like, if you didn't know, the low-sec fobs are way tougher, spawn way more stuff, have a, in order to pause their repair, you have to have, like, exorbitant, like, crazy amounts of, like, 10, like, 40 times more damage than you usually expect to do to a high-sec fob. And they actually spawn dreadnoughts, and Jesus, and they're just crazy nuts. But the rewards are obscene. Plus, well, they have reinforcement timers, so you can't kill it. It's not like a high sec fob where you can kill just this to hull and be done. No, there's actual reinforcement timers. So it's like, yeah, huh? And since it's, yeah, you get the picture. But wouldn't that be funny if they use that code? That would be really interesting. I mean, at first I was freaking out because it was like, wait, you're using the term for the pirate strongholds. What are you doing? Now I'm going, wait, are you actually gonna incorporate low sec fobs into it? That's interesting, but at the same time, it's like, really? I hope you people know what you're getting into, because that means that you're giving access to really good drops. I mean, these drops are really good. But the thing is, it, like, okay, if you make it vulnerable and you can kill it in one go, that'd be great. But if it gives one reinforcement timer, that'll drive conflict. I mean, it's high reward. Yeah, you could farm these for sure. And people like say, oh, I don't know, Snuff would be really interested in stuff like this. And if you could farm, like, look at it. You can farm reliably now, if a, you know, if you can detect the, like, before we can't see currently, we don't, like, high sec we can see everywhere where the, you know, within a certain amount of jumps we can detect on the agency the high sec fobs, but in the low sec your agency doesn't show them at all. But this way, if you could, oh my god, these things are going to get farmed like crazy. Yeah, nullsec's going to be interested in this stuff. Yeah, so there is an incentive actually. Now that I think, like, now that I've worked it through, like, just guessing. I mean, I could be totally wrong. They haven't even talked about pirate strong, like, they haven't even mentioned integrating the integration of pirate strongholds um, with this. It's cool, but why haven't they mentioned it? Is this a new fob? Like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, it could 100%, like, this is their pattern. They could completely forget about the current fobs and just, you know, I mean, it's starting to sound like they have integrated it, but at the same time, I have to, like, you really have to put a damper on your enthusiasm, because these people have a history of not only exploiting that enthusiasm, but having no idea where that enthusiasm is coming from, and they just add a new system to the game and just totally make things just stupid. But yeah, crossing my fingers. God, I hope she lets the cat out of the bag in the next 7 minutes.
Turn to its previous owner with system control at 0%, and a new FOB location for a new insurgency will be chosen after some time. And all of this information will be available to you in a dashboard not unlike the one you see before me. So to increase the levels of corruption or suppression, we are introducing 4 new pirate activities. They are the corporate outpost raid, the pirate laundering center.
So at level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. that'll be unlocked as you go up the ranks.
Or anti-pirate security post, the mining fleet ambush, and the warehouse raid. So the corporate outpost raid and the warehouse raid are an iteration on our FW complexes. We got some really great feedback from a lot of our players, and we aim to improve on the existing FW gameplay by making them more engaging, with more things to shoot and more variation, including a more even contest between the pirates and the anti-pirates. And like the FW complexes, these activities will have a variety of values and sizes. With the mining fleet ambush and the laundering center and security post, we are providing our pirate players here in the middle with the classical fantasy of raiding mining fleets and outposts and fighting off the defenders, while my militia members on the sides are able to play the hero and attempt to rescue the fleet or secure the outposts. And I've got to tell you, the amount of meetings that I've been in where we're talking about the classical pirate fantasy is really starting to make me have some really weird dreams. So these activities provide a safe place for us to test new ideas, and if you love them, we would be able to backport some of the gameplay into the FW complexes. And of course, successfully completing these activities will reward you with loot, ISK, and LP. Speaking of LP, as my Pirate Align players who's well done at picking the right seat, you will receive either the Guristas or the Angel Cartel Insurgent LP. And this is comparable to the Empire Militia LP that we introduced with the Factional Warfare. You can spend it in dedicated LP stores and purchase all existing and new pirate ship BPCs. And since we're talking about pirate ships, let's take a look at what you can fly come November. Behind door number 1, we have the Mekubal-class destroyer, a fast projectile boat that has a few turret hardpoints and a good damage bonus, so you can choose between artilleries and autocannons to fit your play style. Here you can see the details for this ship, which you might have seen on TQ, but it's including its 634 slot layout for your theory crafting. Behind door number 2, we have the Mamba-class destroyer, a light missile drone boat with extra drone capacity so you can launch refreshed waves of drones to attack your enemy, complete with a 7-4-2 layout. Behold. Behind door number 3, we have the Kizriel-class battle cruiser, which is what you might expect from Angel Designs with a brand new hull. The most agile battle cruiser with a fall-off bonus and a 7-5-6 layout. For your reading pleasure. And our last door, we have the Alligator-class battle cruiser, which has a simple design, a 7-6-4 layout, and an added Guristas bonus. The Alligator is only a bit faster than a Drake, but with a high DPS. Check out the teeth on this bad boy. There is the matter of one final ship. The Angel Cartel has finally finished their designs for the long-awaited Azariel-class Titan, and they are ready to reward Capsuleers. It is the ultimate hyper-dunking platform with high damage and mobility that make it particularly strong for hit-and-run tactics. So I know you've seen this video before, and it's a pretty video, but here are the stats. The ship has an 877 layout and will be well worth the wait. You all need to be a little bit faster at taking pictures. So in the next couple of months, you will get an expanded core projects library, daily goals, pirate insurgencies, pirate enlistment, new activities, and yes, new ships. And we can't wait to see what chaos you unleash with it all in New Eden. We'll be in the second stage with a panel. If you have any questions on pirate insurgencies and pirate enlistment, any of the ships, we'd love to get your feedback and have your questions, and we look forward to seeing you later today. Thank you.
Wow. Wow, guys. I don't know. I was hoping for some rules about, okay, what's happening with faction warfare? How is it being changed? But all I'm seeing is increased loot drops and increase to weapon scram range for the militia people. And I'm seeing no real rules that will affect faction warfare. That's really bizarre. It's like, so it's not going to impact faction warfare mechanics at all, really. But it's supposed to be corruption, so isn't it gonna, like, what is the corruption doing, right? It's just increasing loot drops and all the rest of it's fluff. I don't know where she gets the idea that it'll turn high sec into low sec and low sec into null sec. I don't understand how she's getting to that. Right, so it's very, very strange. I think she needs to go and sober up, go to rehab. That won't even fix her ignorance, unfortunately. Wow. Yeah, sorry guys. That was a waste, wasn't it?